Interpreting test scores by percentiles. The student scores in terms of criterion reference scores are most easily to understand and interpret because they are straightforward and usually represented in percentages or raw scores, while norm reference scores are often converted to derived standard score or converted into percentiles. Derived standard scores are usually based on the normal curve having an arbitrary mean to compare respondents who took the same test. The conversion of student score into student percentile score on the test indicate what percentage of other students are fell below that student score who took the same test. Percentiles are most often used for determining the relative standing position of any student in a population. Percentile ranks are an easy way to convey student standing at test relative to other same test takers. Interpreting test results by percentiles. Percentile scores 1, 5, 10, 30, 40. For example, a score of at the 60 percentile means that the individual score is the same as higher than the scores of 50% of those who took the test. एक स्टूडेंट की परसेंटाइल जो है वो 60 है, तो इसका क्या मतलब है कि उस स्टूडेंट के जो मार्क्स हैं वो सेम हैं, इज द सेम आर हायर देन या ज़्यादा हैं द स्कोर्स ऑफ 60% जितने 60% स्टूडेंट के उस क्लास में थे. द 5th percentile is known as the median. 50 जो 50वीं परसेंटाइल है उसका मतलब मीडियन है एंड रिप्रेजेंट्स द मिडल स्कोर ऑफ डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन. Percentile have the disadvantage that they are not equal units of measurement. For instance, a difference of 5 percentile points between two individual scores will have a different meaning depending on its position on the percentile scale. As the scale tends to exaggerate differences near the mean and collapse differences at the extremes. Percentiles cannot be averaged nor treated in any other way mathematically. However, they do have the advantage of being easily understood and can be very helpful when giving feedback to candidates or reporting results to managers. If you know your percentile score, then you know how it compares with others in the norm group. For example, if you scored at 70 percentile, then this means that you scored the same or better than 70% of the individuals in the norm group. Percentile score is easily understood when tend to bunch up around the average of the group. When most of the students are the same ability and have score with very small range. To illustrate this point, consider a typical subject test consisting of 50 questions. Most of students who are a fairly similar group in terms of their ability will score around 40. Some will score a few less and some a few more. It is very unlikely that any of them will score less than 35 or more than 45. These results in terms of achievement score are very poor way of analyzing them. However, percentile score can interpret results very clearly. A percentile is a measure that tells us what percent of the total frequency scored at or below that measure. A percentile rank is the percent of scores that fall at or below a given score. A percentile is the measure that tells us what percent of the total frequency scored below that measure. A percentile rank is the percentage of scores that fall below a given score. Percentile, both definitions are seems to same. दोनों definitions जो है वो एक जैसी दिखाई देती हैं, but statistically not same. लेकिन वो statistically same नहीं है. For example, if Aslam stand 25th out of a class of 150 student, असलम जो है वो 25वें नंबर पे आता है. एक स्टूडेंट की क्लास है 150 की. देन 125 स्टूडेंट्स वर रैंक बिलो असलम. तो 125 स्टूडेंट जो हैं वो असलम से बिलो हैं, पीछे हैं. परसेंटाइल रैंक इज ए नंबर बिटवीन 0 to 100 indicating the percent of class falling at below that score. Percentile ranks are usually written to the nearest whole percentage, 64.5% to 65%. 65th percentile scores are divided into 100 equal sized groups. Scores are ranked in rank other than from lowest to highest. There is no 0 percentile rank. The lowest score is at first percentile. There is no 100 percentile. The highest score is at 99th percentile. Percentiles have the disadvantage that there are no equal units of measurement. Percentiles can be averaged, not treated in any other way mathematically. You cannot perform the same mathematical operations on percentiles that you can on raw scores. You cannot, for example, compute the mean of percentile score, as the result may be misleading. Can thought of a percentile measures. Remember that quartiles break the data set into 4 equal parts. If 100% is broken into 4 equal parts, we have subdivisions at 25%, 50%, 75%, and 100%. First quartile, lower quartile to be at the 25th percentile. Median or second quartile to be at the 50th percentile. Third quartile, upper quartile to be at the 75th percentile.